All right, good day everyone. Welcome to our blog. And now we will be talking about freedom, which is one of the most important concepts in ethics. Okay, let's get it on. And how do you understand freedom? When I asked you the question, most of you said it is something that you're free to do what you want. There's nothing that hinders you from doing what you want. You're absolutely free. Walay makapugong nimo, walay makainana. I mean, we can narrow it down that in a moment that you have choices, then you are actually experiencing freedom. At least you have a nuanced idea what freedom is all about. And why can only human beings be ethical? According to this girl, Jane Goodall, Dame Jane Morris Goodall, she is a biologist, a zoologist, and at the same time an anthropologist, physical anthropologist, studying the behavior of chimps. And she figured out that chimpanzees are not that far in terms of genetic makeup to human beings. Like several geneticists would suggest that chimpanzees share about 99% of our genes, that 1% separate us from its different species. And according to Jane Goodall, she said that chimps show a selfless concern for the well-being of others. Kaya naman kung sa akin ng mga unggoy, whenever they see someone na gigutom, they will offer food. Or if they feel that Jane Goodall is having a bad day, the chimpanzee would go encounter her and hug her or show some affection. And mula nakapunta na daw, bas hindi ay no na kaning mapakita ang unggoy na mabinutan sila, bas hindi ay nga ethical po ni mga unggoy. Pero in philosophy and in ethics, and in this subject, dili gina makadawat ng mga philosophers. Kani si Immanuel Kant, si René Descartes, si Thomas Aquinas, and si Lewis, they could not accept that animals could be ethical. So it should be established in philosophy that only human beings can be ethical. Let's go further in the point. According to Thomas Aquinas, only animals behave instinctively and humans behave rationally. Let's say there are two mothers. This dog with 3 puppies and this mother with a daughter. We would say animals behave instinctively. This dog will protect her puppies because it's for the survival of their species. Unlike animals, human beings, we can actually have this reason. This mother protect her daughter for the survival of the human race. This is a valid reason. However, as human beings, we behave rationally. We go beyond the survival of our species. Here, we have other reasons like, I protect my baby because I love her and I want her to have a bright future. We can project a better future for the child. And that is my obligation as a mother. And because of our rationality, we go beyond this reason. We have reasons like love, projecting a bright future, and knowing our obligations and responsibilities as human beings. And this way, we are different from animals, and that's how we enjoy our freedom. Going further in investigating what happened in the animal kingdom, we can further, some biologists would further suggest that actually, you can look at the animal kingdom, they can actually behave ethically. Like for example, the honeybees, they sacrifice themselves to save the colony. And the same way, the chimpanzees, they scratch each other's backs as a form of reciprocal altruism. Magsisakaut-kaut silang kanang likod. Okay, let's first explain here. The honeybees, they operate like a single organism, like the whole beehive is a single organism in itself. You have to remember that the most important agent in the beehive is not a single honeybee. The colonial mentality each one of these bees are protecting the most important agent. Who is the most important agent of the beehive? Of course, the queen bee. Because if the queen bee will die, the whole colony will die. And therefore, it's as part of the function of a honeybee, they will sacrifice themselves to save the colony so that whoever is invading the beehive, they will not penetrate into the colony, and therefore the queen will be safe. And the queen will continue to reproduce more bees, and their species will propagate and survive in the later generations. It's the same thing here. It's part of their instinct. I mean, the honeybee cannot do anything. The honeybee will say, luya na ko honeybee raman ko, okay ra mamatay ko para mabuhi lang among reyna. Or ginana ang pangunahon sa honeybee. Not really on. Ginana gina instinct, mo gina lang buhaton, wag is a choice. And the same thing with chimpanzees. Makaut-kaut sila likod as a form of altruism. Altruism, in the basic concept of altruism, it's, you're giving something even if you don't get anything in return. That's altruism. And kani siyang pagpa-kaut-kaut sa likod, it's just part of the instinct of chimpanzees. Not really na the chimp would decide na kauto niya likod. And it's reciprocal altruism, because it's part of their survival to eradicate any form of parasites that's habitating their backs. Like kung kay kuto, it will damage your health, and as part of their instincts, and they just gonna get all these parasites attached to their backs. And let's have to establish all of these animals in the animal kingdom in the province of philosophy. Kung philosophy itong isikutan, wag gina sila freedom. That's why only human beings can be ethical. And because only human beings are capable of decision making among all other species, and we have the capacity of moral judgment. Like for example, if you see this guy, you're familiar with this guy, a politician. You see this TV commercial endorsing himself as a candidate for the Senate. Sabi niya, Pong Rebilla po para sa Senado, number 16 sa balota. And there are two kinds of people, one voting for him and one not voting for him. Like, let's say, this girl said, sayo ng boto ko dahil guwapo ka. Is she making a rational decision? Is she exercising her freedom? Yes, she is. Even if you don't agree with her choice, she is voting, and voting is actually an act of freedom. The same way here, this doctor will not vote. She is voicing out her freedom. And because of freedom, we come up into different decisions. And that's why we are the only beings that can be ethical. Because if you ask a dog whether to vote for this guy or not, of course, ang tubag sa iro, aw ra gid na. Kay wa man na siya free moral judgment, unlike human beings. This dog is not capable of decision making. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now, why is freedom crucial to make moral decisions? Because freedom is the foundation of morality. And if we don't have freedom, we are not morally responsible to our actions. Like for example, you go into the jeepney, and then you are this guy that you are about to fart. Tutun na ko. Human, inhale, exhale. And then, sorry guys, di na gid mada. Motong nakautot na giga. Unya, yung driver, pahua uy. Okay, but before we go that, do you think this guy is morally responsible of his action na nakautot siya sa jeep? Unya kaning jeep na nagdagan na, nagutol-untol pag yun, lisod kaayo i-control. Kung inaning sitwasyon na, this guy is not morally responsible of his action because he has no choice. And kisa may tao na makakontrol siyang utot. Kisa man be, tagaan ako platuan. Pero in this situation na nagdagan-dagan, he is excused. However, if the driver said, bahua, uy, o niya ingon pagid siya na, kinsa itong nangutot diha, pliti na palihog. Hila na pliti pagid siya. Now, this driver is morally responsible of the words he said because he has the options, he has choices about what are the selection of words that he will say in the jeepney. Pwede man niya na mangita ka na mabadlong bisan dili mauwawan tong kinsatoy ng kuan, and then hurt na yung feelings, and now partly he is morally responsible of this with the words he said. Okay, let's say in another example, this girl Christine Reyes and this guy, you know him. Let's say this guy saw Christine Reyes, yung bayhana, and should I rate or not? Na yung decision-making process when he is entertaining these thoughts. Human, he already decided. Nang rape ko siya, ting, triggered na. And then, now, is this guy morally responsible of his actions? Of course he is, because he already decided to rape. Even if he has all this decision-making, he already decided, and when naman siya freedom, and his freedom shows him to do whatever he wants to do with his girl. And Christine Reyes said, I have the freedom to resist the rapist, but I am overpowered. Christine Reyes here, bisan tuod, she has the freedom to resist, pero di man siya kapiog aning kuan, but tawhan na, dili siya morally responsible siyang actions, because his freedom overpowers her freedom to resist. So the rape victim here is not morally responsible of her action, but the rapist, yes, he is absolutely responsible of his actions. And at least you get a point here. Now, sometimes our freedom overlaps each other, they clash, and sometimes our freedom are limited by the freedoms of others. We will talk about it later on. Now let's talk about virtue in relation to freedom. Virtues are habits that persons develop throughout learning and practice. And a virtuous person acts consistently with his moral principles. Let's say, for example, si Santino. Kay butan mga si Santino dito sa may bukas pa. And then si Santino na assign of sibot. And then naisibot, pagkatanong sa sibot, daghan kay kwarta na dito yung mga dollars niya. Kanang matintal ginang tao na way virtue ni. Pero kibaw si Santino na stealing is bad. And yamon na niya nadakan. And then the virtue of honesty is already part of his character. So, usa may buhaton ni Santino diri, mga WhatsApp kwan dili. Because na naman siya virtue of honesty, of course, dili gid siya mga hawat sa sibot. Kaibutan naman. And this is the goal for us. We don't only understand the concepts and ethics, we need to apply all these moral principles into our life to be part of our character, and we need to develop virtues. Now this girl, okay, I think you're familiar with this girl. Ingan siya na, iyan pa ko nagbahog bilat, ay burikat, iyan pa ko nagbahog bilat. Do you think this woman is morally responsible of the words she said? During the class, you're divided. Some said no, some said yes. But actually, given that this woman grows in a community where vulgarity is normal, she might not be morally responsible of her actions. Kaya wa pa man siya kaibaw na kanang pangyawit na mga pulong kanang dili siya maayo. Pero once this woman knows that speaking bad words is bad, she may be morally responsible. So on the moment na nanay makabadlong niya na uy sayop ay pag binastos og ba dira nakatubang mga TV pakauwa man ka sa mong lugar, something like that. Unya nagbinastos gyapon siya ba, she is already morally responsible of the words she said. So knowledge here will influence will influence your freedom, whether you are free to actually do what you want. I mean, kung siya, wasa na siya mga factors that will determine how much free you are in doing the action. Are you morally responsible to it? Kung wala ka kaibaw, you might not be responsible that much. Pero kung once nakibaw kang sayop na siya, pero imo gyapon gibuhat, wala sayop ka, you are now morally responsible. Now, we have 4 different insights on freedom. Naglain-lain sila views on freedom. One is that freedom is a gift, freedom is complementary to reason, and freedom is absolute. And freedom demands responsibility. Sige lang, ato ni sasagsaon later on. Okay, let's first let's first talk about freedom is a gift. According to Gabriel Marcel, freedom is a gift given to us by God. And freedom is the ability to act significantly. And God cannot control our free will nor take it back from us. Okay, of course, it's like a gift. Now, kay hatag sa Ginoo sa tua, di nato na pwede bawion na man hatag bawi din eh. And even if in a biblical example from here, Adam and Eve, and then the snake, just look at their conversation. Wingon ang bitin na eat this fruit or you will have knowledge. And then yan na si Eve. God told us not to eat this fruit. Adam, should I eat this fruit or not? The fact that Eve is asking this question, she is exercising her freedom. Ingon si Adam, bahala ka dira Eve. And then he is also exercising his freedom, not forfeiting his freedom, pero bahala ka dira. And because these two people, they were already enjoying freedom. It's part of the package. When God created them, freedom is part of it. And even if these two people, Adam and Eve, disobeyed God, di gyapon na mausap sa Ginoo. No matter how powerful God is, di gyapon na niya makontrol ni mga tawhana, because each person in this world, each human being He created in the world, they have their own free will, and God has given it as a gift, and di na pwede niya mabawi because it should be something that we have. So this is one of the use of freedom. It is a gift, according to Gabriel Marcel. Another way of looking at freedom is that it is complementary to reason. And this is according to Aristotle, a Greek philosopher, who said that a free person is able to determine his or her purpose. Let's say, for example, and this person is said, I don't know what should I do in life. And this person, I want to be a scientist. And if you want to compare the two, kinsa may mas naay freedom nila? Of course, if you ask Aristotle, kanigid ang naay freedom niya, mas free ganito hana. Kasi kung wala ko na kay purpose, you're not really free to do what you want. Mura ka go with the flow, waka kay bow sa dream nimo, sa ambition nimo. And your freedom is something you need to develop. And it will, kasi Aristotle mapayo sa proponent sa virtue ethics. And when you have that virtues in your life, you're more free when you are happy and you attain a certain level in your life, a certain status that you can free to do what you want because you know what you want to become. And it should be complementary to reason. Another view of looking at freedom is absolute. And this is according to Jean-Paul Sartre. And this is a very interesting and a very dangerous concept too, with regards to freedom. It's according to Jean-Paul Sartre, human person is absolutely free. That human is freedom. The concept of freedom can never be divorced by being a human. And sometimes our consciousness are confusing us that our freedom is limited. Kaya ito maghibong na bakit a choice? Ano wala kay murag the limit na tong freedom. Wala di ko na tinuod kana kuan na siya kana gilimit rev daw tong sunod na padili na ingon na wag ito'y freedom at all. Okay, sometimes the fact that you are limiting your freedom proves that you are actually free because you made a choice. I know this is too abstract. Let's have examples so that maklaro sa inyo ha. Let's say you are about to hike in Mount Pangasugan, and then pag mag-hiking mo dito, na usa ka dako kayong kahoy nag-ali ninyo. Unya kay kumukat-kat ka ning kahoya para lang makasaka diri sa taas. Dili ka kumabtan ka bii, unya lisod na kaayo. Pero kung mobalik mo, at least safe mo pag uli. And then you think that this tree might be limiting your freedom to climb up Mount Pangasugan. But niuli man ka, do you have a choice at all? Kaya nag-ali na siyang kahoya? Kung kanina mo pangutan-on si Jean-Paul Sartre, yes, you still have a choice because you made the choice to turn back. And your freedom will never be limited by something like this, like a big tree na makasaka ni Mas Pangasugan. Because you have also the choice to go against this tree, to conquer this tree so that you can conquer the mountain. Let's have another example para mas maklaro niyo, something more relatable. Let's say, nananghid ka sa imong mama nga mulaag. Unya, imong mama ingon, dili ka pwede mo gawa sa balay. Are you still free? Yes, you are still free because you have the choice to rebel. You have the freedom to rebel. Pwede ka na musupak yung mama, pwede ka mo ikya sa balay ninyo, mutakas ka. But if you chose to say, moingon na mama, oh, wala man ka mulakaw, you are still free because you made the choice to stay. So whatever you do, you actually have freedom. And nagtukag na ani, like your mother, your parents are limiting your freedom. No, you're still making a choice. It's you can either rebel or follow them. Dili ka ingon na wala na malimit yung freedom. It's just that your mind is confusing you whether you're free or not. And one key concept of Sartrean ethics is that animal freedom is different from human freedom. If you see in this picture, kaning mga iro na nasa sa kanang tangkal, nasa cage, can you say that these dogs are free? Of course not. Pero kung akong ablihan nina ako ang kaning tangkal, can you say that the dog is free? Yes, malako-lako ang iro, yeah, he is free. However, in the context of human beings, can you say that this person is free? Some of you in the class said, no, kay prison man siya, he already forfeited his freedom in the society. But if si Sartre imo pangutanon, he is still free. Kano man, ang taon na napriso, free gihapon siya, whether mag-usab siya siyang kinabuhi or di. He is free whether he wants to extend his life sentence or not. He is also free whether makaon ba siya dito, mag-hunger strike, or he wants to commit suicide inside the bars. He is still free. Nagya po siya mga choices bisan tuod na priso siya. And that's the main thing. That's one of the main things na different nato from animals. Kung animals si priso, pakaingon di ka dili free. Pero kung nata diri sa ang human beings na priso, free gyapon siya because we have an unlimited. And the last concept of freedom we need to discuss is that freedom demands responsibility. Kaya kung ingon si Sartre na a human person who has a choice, si Lao Tzu, a Chinese philosopher, would say, in a society, the exercise of one's freedom is not absolute because we should be responsible of our actions and we should endure the consequences. Okay, so in philosophy, the only thing that limits freedom is freedom in itself. It's freedom itself. Kay natay kita tanan mga tao natay freedom. Siya po na siya freedom. Mag-overlap matong freedom, mo na malimit atong freedom. And therefore, we need to be, may mga consequences. Good, kung natin at we chose something, nagyan na mga effects. And because of that, we need to be responsible. Atong ginapalanagutan kung naa mga nitay makakalapasan na mahimo. It's the same thing like throwing garbage in the water. Kung si Sartre mo pangutanon, yeah, you're free to do that. You're absolutely free as a human being. Bahala busulting authorities na bawal na. Pero si Lao Tzu yung pangutanon, no, you have to be responsible sa imong freedom. And yes, you can do that, but how about the people nga dito sa unahan sa river, mo inom sa tubig? What will happen to them? How about kung mga nanglaba dito, mahugaw ilang mga sanina? How about kung magbagyo na o na magbahatanan? Then you need to take responsibility kinang lapay kag basura dire. It's the same thing whether you threaten or you kill someone. This heart imong pangutanon, yes, you're free na tutukan mo po silang sa kataw. But pangutanon nimo si Lao Tzu, no, you're not really that free. Your freedom is limited because it demands responsibility. And you need to be responsible to your action. Okay, what will happen to the loved one na imo napatay? What happened sa may tabo nila? Mag-uol. Hanggang sa may tabo, mamatyan like padre da pamilya siguro imong gipatay. Onya, what happened to the mga anak ato? Asa naman pa dong ilang kaugmaon kung wala na imong suporta sa pamilya nila? That's why you need to be responsible sa imong actions. And also here, in another situation, you're free to actually pickpocket someone. Pero what will happen to the person na nawagtangan o pitaka? Ay, mga ID dito, mga valid IDs, driver license, na siya ka-drive. That's why you need to take responsibility. Dili ka mapataka o perform sa mong freedom because there are other people also have the freedom their own. We need to be responsible with our freedom because freedom is very powerful and we might think we are in complete control of everything. But we're not because we have responsibilities to follow. We need to owe up with our mistakes. Muna siya nature of freedom. So in this lecture, you learn the following things: that only free humans can be ethical because we are the only beings in the world capable of decision making. Animals only may show ethical behavior, but they only act based on their instincts. That freedom makes us morally responsible or action, and virtues makes us act consistently with our moral principles. And there are 4 different views of freedom as we've discussed. Freedom is a gift given to us by God. Freedom is complementary reason, and thus we should have a purpose in life. And freedom is absolute. And lastly, freedom demands responsibilities. So this is when our lecture ends. I'll see you in the next lecture about determinism. So stay tuned. If you have some questions, just put a comment below or ask me in the Google Classroom or ask me personally so that you can understand better. Bye-bye. So in this following lecture, you learn the following things: that freedom, about freedom, that only human beings are ethical because we are the only beings in the world capable of decision making. Animals show ethical behavior, but they only act on instinct. And freedom makes us morally responsible of our actions. And virtues make us act consistently in our moral principles. And we have our different views of freedom. Freedom demands a responsibility, and it is absolute and it's complementary to reason, and thus we should have a purpose in life, and it's a gift given to us by God. Stay tuned.